Oui, ça va. Très bien, merci.
Bon, déjà, merci. Merci à tous ceux qui peuvent déjà venir se connecter là pour notre session Zoom. Pour pouvoir plus vous donner le temps, donner le temps à tout le monde, vous poser toutes les questions possibles. Et puis, Madame Christina et moi, on va essayer de faire de notre mieux pour pouvoir répondre aux besoins que vous allez présenter. Mais tous les besoins qui ont un aspect technique, on va orienter ces besoins vers M. Galsine. Madame Christina et moi, on est là pour pouvoir répondre en fait, aux questions qui sont en relation avec le contenu de notre cours de soutien. OK? C'est bon?
Oui.
OK. On va d'abord commencer par dire que on commence à prendre trop de temps pour ce premier type de texte. Ça va faire un petit peu plus d'un mois qu'on est sur le texte narratif. Donc là, aujourd'hui, pour le Zoom, on est aussi venu ici pour vous dire que d'ici la semaine prochaine, on va insérer l'évaluation de l'évaluation qui va clôturer en fait l'étude sur l'étude du texte narratif. Donc d'ici dimanche, on va carrément ouvrir la semaine de l'évaluation. Donc on encourage tout le monde pour pouvoir aller faire l'évaluation à partir de la semaine prochaine. Par contre, pour les activités qu'on vous a demandé de faire pour la première partie sur la compréhension par l'écoute et la compréhension par la lecture, on va aussi insérer les réponses, on va dire les corrigés types. On va insérer les corrigés types et puis après, vous allez personnellement aller consulter le corrigé type et vous corrigez en fait vous-même les activités. Déjà, comparez vos réponses. Après, pour toutes les réponses erronées ou fausses, vous pouvez en fait vous appuyer des réponses justes pour pouvoir corriger vos activités. Ça, c'est pour la première partie. Et pour la deuxième partie, on n'a pas encore fait le rapport des activités. Donc là, pour l'instant, on ne sait pas qui a fait les activités, qui n'a pas fait les activités. Mais d'ici ce week-end, on va aller vérifier la participation de tout le monde par rapport aux productions. Donc, on a deux productions. On a la production orale et la production écrite. Donc, pour l'oral, on vous a demandé de produire une courte vidéo, de raconter un fait divers, de l'enregistrer, puis après de le déposer sur l'espace de dépôt. Après, si on a des problèmes techniques sur ça, on demandera à M. Calcine de nous assister pour pouvoir revoir en fait les aspects techniques par rapport à l'espace de dépôt, surtout à la taille des vidéos que vous allez insérer. Mais la consigne vous a demandé de tout simplement produire des vidéos de 3 à 5 minutes, pas plus. OK? Et pendant ces vidéos, vous racontez un fait divers. Et puis après, vous avez aussi la deuxième production qui est une production écrite. Ça aussi, on a mis une consigne qui est très claire. Donc, vous lisez la consigne et vous produisez en fait le travail. Donc, comme je l'ai déjà dit, je vais le répéter, ça prend trop de temps, cette première partie de notre cours de soutien. Donc, d'ici à la fin de cette semaine, on va carrément clôturer le temps des activités. Et on a aussi mis un délai pour que les espaces de dépôt se ferment. C'est à partir de la fin du mois. C'est le 30, donc c'est à partir du dimanche. Donc, pour toutes les personnes qui n'ont pas encore soumis soumis leurs activités, il faut le faire avant qu'on va insérer les corrigés types. Voilà. Mais sinon, à partir de la semaine prochaine, c'est la semaine de l'évaluation. Donc, on va tout simplement noter l'évaluation. Mais pour les 4 activités, ce sont des activités, on va dire, collectives. Mais voilà, de notre part, Madame Christina et moi, on ne va pas corriger ces activités. Par contre, on a préparé des corrigés types. On va les insérer et c'est à vous de vous baser sur les corrigés types pour pouvoir corriger vos productions personnelles. Voilà, je vais arrêter de parler.
Allez.
Je laisse la place aux questions.
Allez. Allez.
Après, si Madame Christina a quelque chose à rajouter, je lui laisse aussi la place. Allô, est-ce que vous êtes toujours là? Vous avez entendu tout ce que j'ai dit?
Oui.
Il faut réagir. Si vous n'avez pas de questions, c'est tant mieux pour tout le monde. Comme ça, on va laisser la place aux formatrices anglophones. Si vous n'avez pas de questions, ça veut dire qu'on va, on va dire que tout va bien quoi, de votre côté, mais aussi de notre côté.
Oui, on t'écoute. Je peux poser une question, des commentaires.
Oui.
Mas que não sei, você bastante me parece por de soutien e me você me lê caram por de soutien bastante me lê quando ele faz bastante lê sabe cara mal possession. Se não se me lê miximo broano por de soutien ou tem mal possession me lê cara sempre também. Quando é assim não sei. Broano é alright não.
Ok, pour répondre à ta question, merci Valériane. La réponse de ta question, c'est que comme vous n'êtes pas en fait sur place, c'est-à-dire que tout le monde n'est pas sur Port-Villa pour qu'on puisse avoir une présentielle, hein, cours de soutien présentiel. C'est pour ça qu'on était obligé de suivre en fait la modalité en fait des cours en ligne pour pouvoir faire le cours de soutien. Et par rapport à vous qui êtes un public assez particulier, c'est-à-dire que il y a le groupe de Shefa, il y a le groupe de toutes les autres provinces. C'est pour ça qu'on est obligé de suivre en fait le mode en ligne. Et on ne peut pas aussi faire ce cours avant que vous commenciez en fait les cours des sciences de l'éducation. Encore pour cette raison, c'est parce que vous n'êtes pas ensemble en fait. Vous n'êtes pas ensemble sur Port-Villa, vous n'êtes pas ensemble sur un territoire, mais vous êtes, comment est-ce qu'on va dire ça? Il y a une disparité en fait de l'emplacement, c'est-à-dire que voilà, il y a le groupe de chaque province. Du coup, on était obligé de passer par le mode formation en ligne.
D'accord.
Il y a aussi l'objectif en fait de ce cours de soutien, c'est que ce cours de soutien n'est pas un cours accrédité. Comme Madame Christina l'avait déjà mentionné pendant la première session du Zoom, ce n'est pas un cours accrédité. C'est pour ça que on peut en fait suivre le cours en parallèle avec les cours accrédités, surtout pour vous.
D'accord.
Mais parce que ici, en présentiel, on a les étudiants ici en présentiel qui, eux, on peut en fait les avoir avant qu'ils commencent leur formation. Mais par contre, vous, non, parce que vous travaillez en même temps. Il y a aussi ça, c'est que vous avez vos classes respectives. Du coup, on ne peut pas déranger tout le monde pour pouvoir vous donner en fait ce cours de soutien avant que vous commenciez votre formation.
D'accord, merci
Voilà.
pour les explications. C'est clair, madame.
Ok, c'est bon alors. D'autres questions? Comme on est en cours de soutien, on encourage les enseignants à parler en français, à communiquer en français, hein? D'autres questions?
Allô?
Oui, Sophie, on t'écoute.
Ok, bonjour madame. Vous avez écouté là?
Oui, on t'entend très bien, Sophie. Tu peux parler.
Ok, bonjour madame. Merci beaucoup pour les infos. Alors, c'est peut-être, il y a certains qui n'ont pas rendu leur devoir, c'est à cause de laptops qui ne sont pas arrivés à l'heure. Mais la semaine prochaine, je sais que tout le monde va remettre le travail de narration 2, pour la narration 2, avant dimanche. Ben, le problème, c'est que le laptop, le Wi-Fi, tout ça là, ils ne sont pas arrivés à l'heure. C'est pourquoi il y a des étudiants qui n'ont pas fait leur travail.
Ok, c'est bon. Il y a l'officier technique qui est juste à côté, donc on prend en compte. Et ça, je l'ai déjà fait. C'était clair depuis le début. Ok, on est flexible, on comprend par rapport aux difficultés, les défis en fait par rapport aux outils TIS et à la connectivité, à la connexion. On comprend très bien. Et puis par rapport à ce cours, c'est un cours de soutien. Donc du coup, on n'est pas très sévère, mais par contre, on exige quand même une participation de tout le monde pour qu'on puisse mesurer en fait la progression des compétences en langue. Hein. C'est pour ça enfin, exigeant, peut-être que c'est un petit peu trop dur encore, mais on veut bien que tout le monde puisse participer aux activités et surtout les évaluations, il faut les faire parce que les évaluations, on va les noter. Mais sinon, par rapport aux outils TIS comme les ordinateurs portables, comme tu viens de dire, Sophie, avec la connexion, on vous encourage aussi à prendre une responsabilité personnelle quelque part, parce que si vous vous êtes inscrit dans ce cours, c'est parce que vous voulez monter en compétences. Donc, peut-être qu'il faut aussi sortir de cette mentalité de dépendance à l'Institut. Hein. Mais on va dire que c'est votre droit d'utiliser en fait ces justifications comme quoi non, on n'a pas d'ordinateur portable, on n'a pas les connexions, on n'a pas une bonne connexion, c'est pour ça qu'on n'a pas pu rendre les activités. Donc moi, je vais vous rappeler que les activités sont là pendant longtemps. Je vous dis qu'on n'a même pas respecté la chronologie, la durée. On a laissé ouvert les activités jusque-là. Si on compte les semaines pendant lesquelles les activités étaient là, on a largement dépassé les 4 semaines. Donc, après, si on laisse jusqu'à 2 mois, 3 mois, puis que vous reveniez, puis vous nous dites que maintenant, parce qu'il n'y a pas d'ordinateur portable, il n'y a pas de connexion, il y a quelque chose qui n'est pas, on va dire qu'il n'y a pas, on ne voit pas en fait cette motivation personnelle de vous, par exemple, par rapport à quoi vous voulez vraiment cette montée en compétences. Mais ne prenez pas mal, c'est un encouragement, hein, c'est un encouragement pour tout le monde. Mais comme je vous ai dit, nous, pour ce cours, on est flexible. Donc, c'est pour ça qu'on a carrément laissé les espaces de dépôt ouverts jusqu'à la fin de ce mois-ci. Donc, vous avez jusqu'à dimanche pour pouvoir finir vos activités, les déposer avant qu'on va insérer les corrigés de type. Voilà. Mais Sophie, on comprend très bien les défis, oui.
Allô?
Oui.
Allô? Alors, madame, je vais juste une petite question. C'est que toutes les questions, toutes les réponses de la narration 1, ça y est, c'est bon. Mais pour la narration 2, qui est le fait divers, alors j'ai essayé d'insérer le mien hier, mais j'arrive pas. Et vous pouvez m'aider ici?
Oui. Alors là, c'est plus un aspect technique, donc on va orienter en fait cette demande à M. Calcine. Donc après notre séance Zoom, M. Calcine va aller vérifier les paramètres en fait de l'espace de dépôt pour voir si l'espace de dépôt que j'ai créé peut accommoder le poids en fait de la vidéo que vous allez insérer. Donc on va laisser ça à M. Calcine. Sinon, vous pouvez passer par mon Gmail. Par exemple, si vous voulez vraiment rendre à l'avance, envoyez-moi déjà par Gmail. Après, si M. Calcine nous donne une réponse d'ici la semaine prochaine comme quoi ça va, c'est bon, l'espace de dépôt peut accommoder en fait les fichiers vidéo, ben, on va vous faire savoir d'ici dimanche. C'est bon comme ça?
D'accord. Merci.
Ok, c'est bon.
Et, madame, j'ai une autre question.
Oui.
Alors, le cours de soutien, ça va durer combien de semaines, combien de mois, ou on va arrêter, peut-être on va arrêter au cours de la route, ou on va continuer jusqu'à la fin de l'année?
OK, alors la réponse à la question, c'est que, par exemple, si on suit notre calendrier, on va tous vous pénaliser parce que vu le rythme, comment vous travaillez, c'est pour ça qu'on était obligé de suivre votre rythme. Parce que vous venez avec vos justifications comme quoi, pas d'ordinateur portable, pas de connexion, mais on est obligé de comprendre ça et de laisser durer en fait les étapes ou les séances de cours. Mais normalement, par exemple, si on est strict sur le calendrier, d'ici le mois prochain, normalement, on est censé finir le cours. Mais là, on traîne toujours avec le premier type de texte. Mais on a 3 types de textes à étudier dans ce cours de soutien. On a la narration, on a l'injonction et on a l'argumentation. Donc, d'ici la semaine prochaine, on va insérer l'évaluation de la narration pour qu'on puisse bâcler le cours de la narration. Et puis après, on va insérer la première partie du cours sur l'injonction. Voilà. Donc, c'est par rapport à ça. Par exemple, pas par exemple, mais si on va suivre en fait notre calendrier à nous, on va dire qu'à la fin de ce cours de soutien, beaucoup d'entre vous, je ne sais pas quelle note on va les attribuer ou je ne sais pas comment est-ce qu'on va évaluer la participation, mais parce qu'il y en a qui ne participent même pas, qui ne font même pas les activités, puis ça complique un peu le planning aussi de notre cours de soutien. C'est pour ça que nous, on utilise en fait le concept de la flexibilité, on reste flexible, mais pour cette fois, on va essayer de viser jusqu'au mois de juin, juillet pour pouvoir arrêter le cours, juin, juillet. C'est bon, tout le monde a compris le message, l'explication?
Madame, je vais juste à une autre question. Vous ne pouvez pas insérer seulement les corrections pour ceux qui ont fini ou ceux ou celles qui ont fini. Et puis pour les autres qui n'ont pas encore fini, il ne faut pas donner la correction. Comme ça, ils vont essayer de faire leur devoir et rendre. Et puis après, la correction, tu peux leur donner.
Mais la chose qu'il faut comprendre, c'est que vous ne pouvez pas aussi nous donner plus de travail après l'heure de travail. C'est pour ça que je suis en train de vous dire que si on encadre en fait un temps, c'est parce que ça va aussi nous faciliter la tâche. Par exemple, là, on a mis le temps jusqu'à plus d'1 mois. Donc, du coup, on a décidé que d'ici cette semaine, la semaine prochaine, on va insérer les corrigés. Après, pour toutes les personnes qui n'ont pas pu faire le travail, ils seront dans le rapport comme quoi ils n'ont pas rendu le travail. Après, ils n'ont qu'à accéder à la correction et puis après, ils passent à l'autre type de texte. Mais par exemple, si vous voulez qu'on attende ces gens-là, mais on va vous suivre jusqu'au mois de juillet, puis après, on va toujours en train de corriger ou vérifier. Est-ce que vous comprenez la différence? Parce que plus vous traînez, plus vous traînez tout le monde en fait. Vous êtes en train d'entraîner tout le monde derrière. Enfin, après, moi, je parle en général, hein. Et on va dire on apprécie les personnes qui sont vraiment à jour, ok? On va dire bravo à toutes ces personnes qui sont à jour. On apprécie, félicitations, on les félicite, mais on ne peut pas non plus pénaliser les personnes qui rencontrent des difficultés. Même si on sait que les difficultés sont plus des difficultés techniques. C'est bon?
Merci, madame, pour les informations, pour toutes les réponses contribuées pour la question. Merci beaucoup pour tout.
Merci à toi, Sophie. Merci pour ta réaction active. C'est très bien, c'est ce qu'il faut faire. C'est comme ça qu'il faut réagir. Il y a d'autres questions? Sinon, ben, on va laisser la place aux anglophones. Donc, je rappelle que d'ici dimanche, tous les espaces de dépôt vont être fermés, mais peut-être qu'on va on va étendre l'espace de dépôt de la deuxième partie de la narration, parce que là, monsieur Kalsin doit aller vérifier les paramètres. Mais sinon, l'espace de dépôt pour la première partie, il est temps que ça se ferme. Après, on va insérer les corrigés types. Et après, pour la deuxième partie, peut-être qu'on va étendre encore 1-2 semaines pour la deuxième partie. Et sinon, la semaine prochaine, c'est l'évaluation. Donc, on encourage tout le monde pour répondre en fait à l'évaluation. Donc, par exemple, si vous avez des difficultés à déposer vos devoirs, envoyez les devoirs par Gmail, hein, sur nos Gmail à moi et à Madame Christina. On peut les récupérer par Gmail. Surtout concernant les évaluations.
Avant qu'on termine avec les deux dames, là, j'aimerais bien que tout le monde peut allumer la vidéo. On voulait vous voir, Tata, bon week-end, avant que ça.
On veut voir le visage de tout le monde, là, toutes les personnes qui sont connectées.
Ce week-end, c'est férié.
Comme c'est notre vendredi, on veut voir le visage de tout le monde pour se souhaiter bon week-end et bon courage pour la suite.
Merci beaucoup.
Ok, pour aussi une information pour l'injonction, ça va être Madame Christina qui sera la référente. Donc, c'est elle qui prépare toutes nos activités. Et puis après, quand on va venir pour les séances Zoom, c'est elle qui va aussi gérer les discussions sur Zoom.
Ok, c'est bon.
Bon, mais il y a des personnes qui ne veulent pas se montrer, donc c'est pas grave. Ok, on dit bon week-end à tout le monde et merci encore pour la session d'aujourd'hui.
Bon week-end. Merci.
Allez, bon week-end à tous, n'hésitez pas. Hein,
bon week-end, merci.
Bon week-end.
Il ne faut pas aller plus loin parce qu'on a aussi des DPS 111 et DPS 112.
D'accord.
Ok.
Cet après-midi.
Allez, tata tout le monde, on va partir.
Allez, tata, merci. No, you track up? No, kata no ka. No, pratay no. Ka. Oh, larawan ang larawan na.
Good morning back again, everyone, especially all Anglophone preaching language. Yumi kato plesia. To in church language English preaching course. Pami kirim time to you will anyone we got anything lo anyone any question or anything time. So we give time to let him want to kirim before we ask some questions.
Okay, good morning everyone. It's another video conferencing. We had our last one in early April. Now it's almost the end of May, and we have another conference. So far, you're supposed to have covered the descriptive genre, the narrative genre. You should have done all the activities. You should have done the audio activities where all the marking schemes have been attached to the activities, and it's week 5 now. We were supposed to have done the narrative within 2 weeks only, but due to a lot of challenges that we are facing with the internet and us being very busy with our own other programs, we've covered that one genre in 4 weeks. Now, this is the 5th week. Next week, it's going to be our first assessment task where you will be doing a reading comprehension, answering questions in this task, and also some language components of this narrative or the reading comprehension. Yeah, and then we will move on to our next topic, which is the procedural writings. I'll give this moment for Mrs. Simo, who is responsible to upload all this information for the 2 topics. We'll give you more details into this. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Timothy, and hello again to all of us, especially you teachers out there. Thank you for the time, your time in coming for us to just orient and discuss a little bit more into things that are concerning your studies. Yes, as mentioned by Mrs. Timothy, the narrative should have been done. I think I have sent out a message informing people that we gave you the 3rd week for you people to catch up, because as we went through the participations over the 2 weeks of narrative, we have found out or seen that very few teachers were participating. Therefore, we thought we would give you a week where people can come in. So the message was sent out for people to spend the week 3 or the 3rd week to at least engage or participate in the narrative. So just to give us an update of our observation as well as the registration of things that were done for week 1's discussion, so far your participation is recorded from the forum discussion. That's where we picked up. Of course, we do see people come in and out. However, your engagement is observed, or we will be looking at. We were looking at your forum discussion to tell us whether people were really, participating or engaged in the activities we gave you. So for forum one, we only identified 12 people so far or to date. So 12 people who have participated. It may be you, but people who haven't and are listening now, the forum one discussion, we only recorded 12 participants or 12 teachers so far that have already, not really introduced, but actual engagement into week 1 of the reflective writing task. Okay, for week 2 to date, we have only recorded 6 teachers who have already participated. And all of these will be taken into consideration, for further discussions with probably the admin or the academic people. Yes, especially to tell everyone and the ITE of our participation in this preaching course. Okay, so that is it. In regards to your assessment, as Mrs. Timothy mentioned earlier, it was in fact something that was possibly delayed on our side for technical reasons, and yes, technical expertise from our IT person here. We are planning, we've got everything ready except that he will need to, just put all his technical knowledge and skills into it in getting it ready to go. Otherwise, from myself and Mrs. Timothy, all is done, and part of it is already slotted in. Yes, Mr. Carlson, part of it is already slotted in. We just need him to, put some time into it. He's a very busy man, and our plan is that by next week, Monday, Tuesday, you should have, you will have access to that reading comprehension test. It is an online test, so I will need you to pay close attention as I go through some general things in preparation towards next week's assessment. Okay, so for next week, around the 31st of May, you will see a message coming to you to again inform you about the actual time where we will open up, but it will happen next week. Otherwise, we are giving you the 1st of June to at least the 7th of June, latest maybe 8. A date will be given again by Monday. Otherwise, we are giving you 7 days where we will have this narrative reading and all its comprehension questions that you may be able to access over a 7 days period. After the 7 days, you won't be able to access that test, as we will close it and take it off. People who may not plan to participate or miss out will miss out. And again, that will be considered in we will consider your participation in that assessment. Is that clear? Okay, some things that you need to again have in mind are for next week. It is a 1 hour 40 minutes test. You will have 10 minutes reading time, and as you open up the test, your clock starts ticking. Your clock starts ticking, so you will have to at least put maybe 2 hours aside for you to come and do the test. I repeat, you can only do it once. You will only do it once. I repeat, you will have the duration of this test is 1 hour 40 minutes. 1 hour 30 minutes is the actual writing and answering the question. You have 10 minutes reading time. As you open the test, your clock starts ticking. So it's not go somewhere, come back, finish it up next day. No, you have 2 hours or 1 hour 40 minutes. You sit and complete the test. And as you submit, Mr. Carlson will help explain that. But as you submit, you will not access the test again. That's it. So you have one round test only. You open one chance. You open, you do it, and that's it. Okay. Therefore, having that, you can ask questions, but therefore you will need to arrange with your principals. If you are not a principal, you will need to arrange or organize yourself with the school admin. At the same time, you will need to find somewhere quiet, a room that is quiet for you to do the test. At the same time, you will make sure you have connection, internet connection. And if you need data, make sure that you have data enough for 2 hours. Okay? So arrange with your boss, find somewhere quiet, find somewhere where you can access internet without chances of having problem. And at the same time, if you need data, make sure you save some money for at least 2 hours or 1 hour 50 minutes. As the 2 hour or as the 1 hour 40 minute lapse, you will automatically be locked out of the test.
Complete the test with this.
Yes. So do please make effort to complete your test within that timing, the duration. What I'm giving you now, this information will also be sent to you via our Moodle message platform. So that I will, send all of this information to you again. So that is it. Otherwise, this afternoon you can start accessing your next text, which is the procedural text. The next topic, procedural text that will run next week and the week after. You should access that this afternoon. I just open it up and then you can start working on it. Okay. It's a bit of a worry that we're seeing that not everyone is participating. So please, for people who are here now and hearing us, if you have the chance to pass the message to your network, to your other friends, to kindly pass this message to everyone. It is a bridging course, we know. It is a support course, we know, but I think your participation is also very important. Okay, thank you. I'm talking too much here. Maybe I will let our IT person, Mr. Kalawi, to just explain a little bit how you go in, open it, then do it, and yeah, the technical part of handling that test.
Okay. Thank you for the chance. Yeah, I will speak in Chinese because yes, fully di dalam every procedure. Once you log in, you look test the active, you click lang, then you say go, and you say time roll up now. It depends on the question by come out. Maybe any multiple questions or short answers. Once you answer them one, click next. Ini kalau nara question ni kan. Okay, once you finish, yes. Kami putum next, kami putum say you submit. After you stop lo level after lo talam say you have come back lo first or second question, or you go keep going. Stop lo level after. Why na pami lain makan. Saya call sama now. Anta you stop pasal ko careful nama se time stop ko. And suppose you know finish him, so you look se time up. Please you finally submit from. But you can't get some mark. From suppose you know submit now. I can zero from you later look anything submitted. So once you come maybe 2 or 3 questions start, the time elapse, you must put you submit. A lot of things you do, a lot of questions you finish. At in here, I mean first by you will experience them. The maintain your madam Italian finish, the connection and very important from. Suppose you start making the connection do you turn, you finish. I mean, you know, submit him. You know, submit him. So far, you like look say get zero when you know submit him anything. Online, you will experience them, you will do me, you will experience them. So you got a technical pathway. Give me everyone, you will learn module. So how by go and then you will no good mulai talam out you will prepare in advance. No good you can check them now. By you know sabe oh yes go on over time. I think I'm now you will look more time from say 12 o'clock finish and time lo nara course CDPS. Kaya nilay ko sometimes suppose kata ni question cause lo learn or test yes anything bamili sabi answer. Thank you too much. What the question please? No worry will you all narawan way will no stop. Meri ko tam session pamit just send me kamli email. Keep on checking email message. Every time we broadcast them one message, we broadcast them every means when we serve it, okay? Just one email, Moodle, if in Facebook, we put them to one Facebook chat group here by so every way it goes. So you pass them around by your message. So no worry, later on, don't reach you know now. Any question? Question time?
No, I think to see you open them. You silence will get
No, got the self and silence. One by one. You will say where man answer lo you will suppose not got question be mo beta you will tell them lo me well me will stop no more you will wait.
Any problem that you have faced while going through this program, you can share so that we can discuss some solutions. While you're thinking about your questions, I'd like you to look at the course outline. The course outline, so far we are still in the first topic, narrative genre, but don't worry, we will go through all of this. It may take us more time than anticipated as planned, but we will eventually finish the program. It's a support course where no mark is attached to your name, but the assessments that you are sending in are recorded and it will go into the administration academic board for further discussion about your performances in the language area. The other two education courses are accredited, where you have certain points that will go towards your final qualification, but this is to help you perform well in your other upcoming courses. So your performance in this course is very important, vital for your proper submission of essays or whatever that the other accredited courses will do with you. We're going into procedural texts, and then after that you have an assessment under procedural text, which is a seminar presentation. You are expected to record your presentation, video record your presentations and then submit it for us to mark. After that, we go into argumentative genre or topic, and that's our last topic. We look at that, we look at APA referencing, which is the referencing system that SOE is using. And then we have another last assessment here, a writing task. When you submit this according to the outline, there is no examination. So once you submit this last assessment, that will be it. And then you are free to move on to your next course. Yes. Any question? Do you have any question? Ask it in English. Lama, that's fine. Okay, is the explanation everything all right? No question about the explanations? Or do you have something to say? Okay, if everything is okay and you understand everything, make a sign. Perhaps if you cannot speak, just thumbs up. Thumbs up, because our time is up now. Okay, good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thumbs up, ladies. Only gentlemen have been doing that. Okay, thank you.
Before me look at the like, me really like I'm supposed to you will have a denim on all cameras. I mean weekend and me one nice Friday we will have this. Maybe they like to the open today. So me like you will open them denim on
Turn
camera.
on your cameras.
And then kalau tatalol kita mau meeting one one picture for everyone by Kutumas and picture maybe we post them on Facebook.
Okay.
Yes, anyway.
You turn all this other cameras. There's Dolores, Veronica,
Linda.
Turn on your cameras. Good. Yes. There's Alcatel 1, Galaxy Grand Prix. Yours is still closed. There's 7710 675. You're still closed.
So you've understood everything that we've just shared with you? Yes? Thumbs up? Thumbs up. Thank you very much. There's 7, 7, 10, 67 still. Eden? Okay, nice one. Okay, thank you all. Bye. Until next time.
Chinin na ya pa tuvulamen kosa. Tuvulamen kos we mi bele kat maklem mi DPS pa tuvule kamins.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for the
Thank you,
next
Thomas.
Thank you, everyone, and may you all have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Same to you.
Hi, Rini.
Nice weekend.
Meeting po.
Nah, please aku tetap bikin 12 menit. Ini kau orang bola karena lecture di kami. Ya pen itu tak waktu friendly one of the talk ale. Go ahead, kritim him. You just look him.
Mari. Mari. Tahu mari.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. We may stop tune in. ADBS 112. Please indicate if you can hear me.
Right.
All good?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Welcome to our second session of our online classes, and I hope you are well. This midday, because we only have about 30 minutes to 45 or probably an hour if my friend Bruno does not turn up for the French colleague. So what we're going to go through today is just briefly an outline of what you have been reading from major topic 1 to major topic 7. And then we are going to go through assessment task 1, which is due next week Friday, if I'm correct. If you have any burning questions, would you hold your question until end of my short presentation? All good?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So what I would like for you to have with you probably a notebook or your notes from the readings, and if you have a copy of assessment task 1, which I have uploaded, it will be okay. But otherwise you can follow with me, because I am going to go through exactly what you have with you for assessment task 1. Right, so we start off with assessment. We start off with major topic 1, which is educational psychology and the teaching profession. Just a summary of the two overlapping topics. The first one is educational psychology, which is the study of how people learn. And I am impressed by your responses for those of us who have responded to the forum. One or two of us, probably 3, they have not even indicated any sense of engaging. So we have educational psychology, which is the study of how people learn. The other one was the teaching profession, which relates to the traits and characteristics of a good teacher. With respect to the so many number of years that you have teaching, we are not going to elaborate further on, because you know what a good teacher is and what a weak teacher is. Moving on to major topic 2, we have teaching and learning process. But more importantly, what was in teaching and learning process, major topic covered more about aligning our planning, our lesson planning or weekly planning termly planning or year planning to teaching and assessment to meet design and desired learning outcomes within a year level. Now, for most of us, we understood and show our understanding in the forums that we are doing the right thing by what we are planning. Bear in mind that all our questions are related to your current practices. So please do not isolate teaching and learning process with your teacher guide in whichever year level that you are currently teaching. So our planning should focus around the learning outcomes, and our assessment should align with what we have taught. I assume this is the beginning of term 2. For some of us, we have done assessment, and I hope this topic has helped you to ensure that what you assess students is what you have actually taught and not something new, in order to deprive or violate the principles of assessment. Our teaching should not go outside, but should remain within what we have actually taught. Moving on to major topic 3, which is functionalism and pragmatism theory. These are not new because we are teaching students for the life after the classroom. Even though the terms may be new to us, what we do in practice is actually what we have already been doing all through our teaching career. For instance, pragmatism simply means the quality of dealing with a problem in a sensible way, which suits the condition and the real world outside. So pragmatism in education is simply what we are teaching students, the things that are practical for life and encourage them to grow into better people. So I hope that whatever class you are teaching, the child will be able to apply those skills outside the classroom. That is what the theory of pragmatism is about. In relation to functionalism, it is focusing on how education serves the needs of society through the development of skills. How are we encouraging social unity and sorting of students? So according to functionalism, the role of schools is to prepare students for participation in the institution or in society. In short, are we preparing these students to become better citizens of this country? Whichever class, whatever we're doing, we ensure that these students are going to be better people tomorrow. But bearing in mind that when we see other students who have been our care and they end up in prison or they're walking along the street, we can question ourselves. Have we done enough? How have we failed as teachers? And it brings us to mind that whatever we're doing, make sure that we are role modeling better students for the life of tomorrow. Moving on to theory number 4, or major topic 4, which is the behavioral views about learning. Now, these are not new, as I said earlier. These theories have already been part of our lives and part of our teaching and learning. So it's a popular concept that focuses on how students learn, but more importantly, the behaviors that are learned through interaction within the environment. And the two types that we have come to learn about is the classical conditioning and operant conditioning. Okay, for most of us, we associate with a dog salivating when a bell was rung. But given to us that we did not have those experiences in our context, but what we can relate to, for instance, you like a particular music that drives you to probably move or dance or have a feeling about something. See the power of advertisement around us. When you look at digital, for example, how do they advertise? And the type of music that comes with it. Over a period of time, if you're not seeing the product, but once you hear the music, you relate it to something that is familiar, or maybe a sad song, or maybe a romantic song that taught you something about a moment that you've spent with a special someone. Okay, I can see smiling faces, which is good. So those are classical conditioning in our cases. The other thing is, how do we see classical conditioning in our classrooms? The way you grade your routines. Okay, what do you always start with? Maybe a devotion, or you ask the students to hang their bags outside, arrange their slippers. You have your own signal of when do you get their attention. Those are examples of classical conditioning in our class. Operant conditioning. Now, this is a bit tricky, but we are doing it every day. So it brings us to what happened in operant conditioning. In our notes, you have read about the rat, right? But in real life, we do not have rats in our classroom. For instance, for the little ones, probably in kindy and class 1, operant conditioning, they know exactly where and what to do to get your attention by either raising their hand or you raising your hand or you're clapping. It can be seen as a condition, but what exactly are you demanding? It happens in our homes, in our classrooms, in churches, in society, every day. Operant and classical conditioning are happening. Now, I've seen some discussions in the forum about ensuring that students behave exactly the way we want them. Bear in mind that we have pragmatism and we have functionalism. So we want students who grow up in a way that they are always behaving like robots, or do we want them to be happy? So our environment should encourage, first and foremost, positivity, open-mindedness, a classroom that respects students the way they come in. So just because I want homeworks to be done every week doesn't mean that the students will make those as a priority. Remember, these little ones do have time too, and they have a life outside the classroom. We're not the only teachers. So operant condition and classical conditioning, if we are using them to some extent, ensure that it is what the child feels safe around you and they're learning to the best of their abilities. How else can we use classical conditioning in class is when we're teaching language. An example is getting them to do sounds every day, repeating th as in the th sound. For our friends, colleague, the R, because they're not part of our vernaculars. So those are ways that we can use classical conditioning to help learning. The other one in operant conditioning that it relates to positive and negative reinforcement. For some of us, they have stressed them really well, and I hope corporal punishment is not happening. It can be that we want the behavior to change, but is learning really happening with all the conditioning that we are implying or applying in our classrooms? So while you're doing your readings, see how does it change your teaching and learning practices. Let's move on to a new one. The name is new, but it is not actually new to our context. The Gestalt psychology. There are 5 principles of Gestalt psychology, but I am going to focus on, there are 6, but in our teaching and learning, we focus more on 5. First one being similarity. It suggests that we naturally group similar items together on elements, for example, the colors, the size, or the orientation. As human beings, we are always simulating things around us every day. For instance, now we are grouping ourselves into language, while our colleagues who speak French, they are waiting. So that's an example of how else we use it. It appears in all subject area, regardless of its principle. The next one is the principle of proximity. As I said, It's very similar to similarity, but the objects has to be near or we view them as a group. In mathematics, we can see the skill of estimating, approximating, near to or close to. They're part of the principle of proximity. In language, words having similar meanings, words having similar sounds. Most times we use them in arts. The other one is the principle of continuity. We perceive elements arranged on a line or a graph as related to each other, while elements that are not on the line or graph as seen as separate. Classic example for those of us who are living out in the islands, the pathway that you will follow to your garden tomorrow, it's a continuity. Where does it end? Not just at your garden, but elsewhere. The road we follow to school every day. We have shortcuts, we have long ways to go. In classrooms, arts, taking a line for a walk. What else? The story that we want children to write, does it end there? Or is it just that we ask them to write 2 paragraphs, they stop there? How you teach your children or your students how to hold pencils, the way they write, we are always using symmetry. So symmetry is actually part of continuity. The next one is closure. It says that the elements that form a closure object will be perceived as a group. We will even find or even fill in missing information to create closure and make sense of an object. In language, what we usually call fill in the gaps exercise. Those are part of closure. Or you're talking and you expect someone to be reading your mind and give you the last part of your sentence. That is part of closure, which teachers are really good at. In maths, number sequence, number patterns, reading backwards, forwards, even numbers and odd numbers, they are part of closure. The same thing does apply to social studies and science areas as well. It's up to us to see what are the principles that we are using in all these subjects. The last one, called figure and ground. It's like you have a picture against a background and you're trying to figure out, am I going to use this to see the faces or am I going to use this to see the post, our shadows? What is in the background? It depends on where you're standing when you want to see your shadow. It's either against a wall or if you are walking along the road and you see your reflection or your shadow on the grass or the ground, it depends what you're seeing. So that is an example of figure and ground. Now, why are all these principles brought into teaching and learning? So that we can see things differently. But more importantly, we can see learning through the eyes of the children. What are they seeing? What is similar to them? What is different to them? What is proximity? How can we help them beyond what we have? Let's move on to the next one, which is constructivism. This is not new. In short, as I usually tell my face-to-face class, constructivism is a do-do theory. Most of us are not new to this as well, allowing students to use the information they already know and build on something new. Let's bear in mind the students come to class with 40% of what we are about to teach. We only need to add the 60%. So not everything that we are teaching is new to the students. These students we have nowadays, they are so different from our time, our generation. You start telling if yet hemistalo H, hemistalo I, hemistalo J, or even X finish closer. How do we accommodate their learning? by making sure that the activities that we are doing are engaging, they're within their levels. It's interesting, and the child will know the purpose of why he or she is learning it. And they learn best when they're given the opportunity to engage rather than give to them all the time. And the last one, social learning theory and socio-cultural theory. These two, if you have followed from your notes, they are branches of constructivism. Social learning theory is people learn by observing. For instance, you see a type of dance or you see a type of dress that someone is wearing for us ladies, and you decide, I am going to either sew a dress, I'm going to buy one exactly like that. That's social learning theory. For the gentleman, probably you see a house and you decide to build one for your family, exactly the same. So we learn by observing. The second point in relation to social learning theory is learning can occur without a change in behavior. For instance, now you're listening to me. So you can either consume what I'm saying to you, but your behavior towards either you like me or not does not change. I hope you like me. Okay, the third one in relation to social learning theory is that cognitive plays a role in learning. All the thinking skills we have, whichever way we like it or not, whatever you are seeing, there is already a thinking to accept, to solve, to criticize is already happening in our mind. For instance, if you walk past someone and their dressing up is not really up to what you like, for some of us, we can screw up our face without even saying anything. So there is cognitive thinking going up there, and you might wonder, what happened to this person? And you start formulating your own answers, even though you do not say them. They may be obvious in your face, but some of us, we can actually tolerate and we hide it really well. Comes into our classrooms. How are our students reading us? Are we bringing our home problem to class? Our students read us, even the little ones. So pay in mind, whatever you have with you, do not bring it to class, because these little ones are reading us. And the last one for social learning theory is that it is like a transition between the behaviorism theory and the cognitive learning. So behaviorism, we want the behavior to change. Learning does not necessarily have to occur. Whereas in social learning theory, I am observing. Whether I am going to change my behavior, it does not affect the fact that I am learning something. So that is the main difference between behaviorism and social learning theory. The other one that is also part of social as well, but we merge them as the socio-cultural theory. According to Vygotsky, there are three elements or three fundamentals of this theory. First and foremost, if you have watched the video, or probably for most of us, we haven't watched the video yet, he stresses that the influence of culture, our peers, and adults have a lot on our child development. For instance, where you grow up, how you address people. We bring this into the classroom. And more importantly, the second point is the language. How we address people, how we criticize people, how we praise people, depends on where we were brought up. Your beliefs, Christianity, custom-wise, those are all part of socio-cultural theory. It's just that now we are hearing the name, but it's not new. And this is one aspect that the Pacific culture, and more importantly, Melanesian values, is based on socio-cultural theory. The third one suggests that social interaction leads to continuous step-by-steps in a child thought and behavior. For instance, for some children who they grew up just with adults, even though they may be 5, 6, 7 years old, their behavior would be that, and the language they use would be mostly an adult language. A child who have other children around them, they will behave differently from these ones that I have just mentioned. Likewise, if a child is brought up in a negative environment where a lot of foul language is used, it is obvious when they bring them into the classroom and we hear swear words. Likewise for ourselves as well. Now, how do we match these two and make it useful in our setting? What's the children, where they're coming from? How are they behaving? What is the type of language they're using? Will indicate to you the type of upbringing that they're coming with. By doing so, it will help you to identify how can I help this child to become better? How can I help to correct the language this child is using? Bear in mind, we do not use corporal punishment. Wherever we are teaching, if it's not our home place, we need to learn the culture of the people that we are teaching their children, so that it's easier and we do not enforce our own thoughts on those children. Just a matter of tolerating and embracing that everyone is different. But more importantly, does it align to what other people outside of education are emphasizing? For example, the Malfatu Maori obviously wants us to ensure that the vernaculars are alive. They want us to make sure that respect is still there. They want us to ensure that Christianity does still exist. Therefore, when you have cultural week, you have bring traditional food week, you have sports week, you have arts week. Those are the type of things that we are emphasizing and carrying out socio-cultural theory in practice. So that brings us to our short lecture, which I hope you have learned something out of it. I am going to pause here and allow time for a few questions, and then we will go straight to our assessment task 1. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Are you still here with me or you've gone for lunch?
Hey.
You're still here?
Yeah.
Okay. Any question or comment? Nothing? You're happy?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead. I can hear you.
Have a question, please.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Ask him.
Nancy,
So if you wanted to talk English, that's okay.
Okay. Me stahare mi flight to kia pe mi sorry me little bit. You to part me lo side plo English pe mi wanna sabe se plo French pa mi sema kursem ono kan.
Is this Madam Yvette?
No, Nancy.
Nancy.
Okay, Madam Nancy. Bruno, mi finish with the more colloquial English by Monsieur Bruno, by me come shortly. By me explaining something below French.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Me let me know kasi one way blessed ako truly he me mi star mi look mi pas el pete. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Madam, you know what is supposed to come late every week as start looking as a Merikotem. After Lampa, we clean him small, let me just trample broadcast. Yumi everyone from Samli Yumi where you stop at the moment. Yumi where you may connect now, Yumi as far as 32 plus me to Vala 33. From full up or grouping together or connect, so meetings everyone. Suppose where one
Yes, from lecture plan, I help me planted, but they can think. So you start to put one pale, pale. You are really touch more like him.
Belly ring.
Belly ring.
Any question? You mean the English? Suppose na Mr. Mufi ko lo ba mi explain
ring pin
assessment.
Mrs.
Every time by me must in first time.
Yes, Mr.
Hello, Mrs. Phil Dolson.
Yes, go ahead.
Thanks. It was good, and you summarized 7 weeks, and it's like putting a lot of things into my brain. And I think last week I suggested to Mr. Carlson that I prefer if there could be one lecture for each topics. Yes, and particularly maybe the PowerPoint presentation. I prefer if you can do the PowerPoint presentation in Zoom, and maybe it helps me with the reading that you put up, you process so that we will read. But I prefer if you can do one presentation for each topic, and maybe that will be very helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tolson, for the suggestion. Yes, we are working around this. Topic 1 and 7, it might not really be possible because your assessment is just around the corner, but I will try my best to do for topic 8 until the end, because now I have the time. Topic 1 and 7 was done between juggling my online class and face-to-face class. I hope you can tolerate. But thank you for the suggestion. Any more questions?
We explain an activity assignment for next weekend.
Okay, so any more question, right? Yes? No more question?
Yeah. Good
Okay.
afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Sorry, I have the same question with Mr. Dolson. Since we are all scattered throughout Vanuatu, after it's hard for us to get together, especially people who are working on their own or staying in the same area, but in 2 different schools. From I know some people by heart you may tell them say you may find them difficulty all these activities coming up. Some Mr. suggest them say even the next topics to welcome by you may time break them down like what Mr. Dolson suggested, and then it will be easier for some of us. Some of us, especially Mivlaway group in a school, sometimes we find that we are together, but we are not on the same pace of work. From no say, some Mivlaway look say hard more he planned too much. From Mivlaway have take him in everyone. So I think by better if you come in one session with one topic, we go through it, and then you give us the time to do our readings and the activities, and then we come back to you. I mean, we submit in all our work on forum or for the assessment. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Is this Madam Manjes?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for your suggestion. And I would also invite you, suppose you know been flum up so far, outlo you me 67 year me receiving 2 Lena survey form no more. So Lena survey form blue you pahemi karen power, suppose you answer him, blow talem say one him kind help now you need him.
Step inside lo all forum lo you finish.
Okay.
Learner survey form, please, so that ikarem evidence lo place ya. Lo you mi karem pawaya ikopa lo admin lo talem se all kita yali needing help also. And I mean,
so-
mo italem no got enough power.
Okay, so sorry, madam. I think our group here, no, our learner survey form, but we'll go to it. We'll find that, and then we'll get into it, and then come back to you as quickly as possible. From find out that not only 1 or 2 people are having the difficulty, like it's not only the Anglophones, but we find that from our Francophone friends as well. So we'll that one and send it back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
The other one is you play Mr. Freitlo text me or send me an email. Or can only proof say you need help. Like just by saying it, I mean enough. You need to send me an email or you message me. Go make you slow one list inside the forum here. Whichever one you make him, Kalsin and I will see and we will take note. But I take note of your suggestion and consent for help. Shall we move on to assignment?
Thank you.
Abata, me too, me want them answer one question. Hello.
Is it?
No, me too, me got similar concern on some one matter me always talk ya. Meetings from Mr. Paul reading ya. Meetings is supposed to you may take them one reading at one time, then you may make them activities based on readings ya. From supposed to you like if him say I'm like at how much reading ya where now we start me 1 to 7 ale make them activities me by me just too much no me will from me will start got them beginning inside the classroom ya.
I'm fully aware and this is a big resource. So you either choose, you spend your time wisely, those readings, by me simplify them coco, me pull them out, making sure say easy. Otherwise, I would have given you a book. So please bear with me. You try and best play you blow reading no blow understand them. After please participate in the forum. Forum participation is worth 10% of your final marks. You not start nothing no more. You must participate in the forum. And I'm telling you now, 10% of mark for you out of 100 there, you must answer a question in the forum.
Okay.
So that is why the readings are important. But in a minimum say, you reading every single one after you, it's for you to have an option of, okay, me looking chat, me looking slide, me watching video, after me read, which ones are making sense to me, which one I can apply, which one am by helping me. But you read outside law material like him. You are free, you either have a library that have those books, you go read them, or you search online to enlighten you. It's a matter of how do we make use of our time. I know and understand that you have students, but please make time for your learning as well.
One other question. One question, but say, you got some activities where you start with them all readings here. Maybe make them practical or maybe you must submit.
The reading way activities in the reading and your personal blue.
Okay.
Every forum by you looking every topic and panaya mimi asking question now. So emena we blow forum. Pena where you look is the reading. And we blow helping you blow pause and think about the reading.
Okay.
Because I know there's some of us who are writing, some of us who just read, some of us who are reading and writing. So time you start read more right here, how well are you understanding him now? Emena all reading only come inside. So the activities in the reading are simply for you. Pelo emblem by you looking, question only post it come. So it becomes your student center whereby allowing me flow. You reflect say, how now? Topic here, hemi related or classroom practices for me. What am I learning here? Is that?
Me wonder suggestion to say suppose me will for them schedule you will stop. I think you will pull up your community film most regularly. Now you will stop for Sunday. Can you call a forum? Maybe 1 or 2 no more active and full week, but in occasion 20 money active. So that's why really must stop. Then you just come in the 2 to 3 weeks, you look say pile up from consistent on task. So please me appealing everyone, keep on, every time, but at least 1 week you try to go in 1 or 2 times. You got about the routine, your routine, suppose you got any activity, just answer them, suppose you got. So at least you can, suppose you will like put them say, routine stop, everyone come first time. I think by you wait here, you know, now you still keep tracking from say full up only no coming. So please, I mean, not the beginning, you now you choose to take a course. And if you want them to look, you should be active as you want them, so you must pass them or you must do something. So we will come every time for some you say you must go, you must go, you must go. And full up will tell them, so you will wait little device, just playing for you. Well, I think by next week we start shipping. But you must invest yourselves and you want them. Anyone full up look at the no please invest in yourself. So from you choose them say by taking course. So by me know every time say usually come pushing you behind, you need all adults, stop you need, you look one and you stop, you look one and by you make them, please take them. And continue the message. You post your message, and we will reply to you. And we will take one and me. You may cut every means when you put them in place now, yeah. You may cut module stuff, and you may cut the email stuff via email, yeah. Student mail, via you will come around, you will put them. Now, you will create them to a chat group. So suppose when anything you use, I will put them in place. But you will stop it and will help you. So please, you got our number from me, you got me, 5 minutes to help you. So anyone who is looking more affordable, go ahead. Give him a question, but we will serve.
Thank you. May I ask one question?
Go ahead.
Can we ask question in relation to content so that you may move on from all colleague law French or lista wait more EDBS 112 lista wait you meet lo me stop talk balik kami. Question?
All forum questions ya forum you must have answer the forum.
Yes.
Is it counted as like grade there or no?
Yes.
Is that assignment or no?
Any no assignment, any participation blue you. And imena if was you play binare me talent previously me what 10 marks. 10%. 10% of your final grade. So me prekem full up rule blue you falaya. So please make sure say you keep your end of the packet. Me prekem all rule. Plomino stop sarem all forum law end of week where me due. So even though by you stop come blow respond law April blow 1 work blow March. Sorry, you stop comment law May law 1 work blow April law March. Me still sorry lo you me respond lo you. But suppose only find them out. Palisarem all forum ya. So please tani lego you beni stop. Make sure so you stop participate. Good.
Yes, very good.
Okay, you may move to assignment, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Assignment lo you suppose where you call page flow or assignment lo platform, you should got assignment 1, you got assignment 2, 3, after all marking criteria or guideline everyone is all keta. Sorry. Do you want me to switch back to English or you want me to remain in English? To Bislama?
You're right.
Okay. Let's remain as it is. Okay, in your assignment task 1, what you're asked to do is a sort of essay. It's a comparing essay. So you can choose between major topics A or 1 to 7. So for instance, I can choose teaching and learning process, and I compare with constructivism. So I choose these two. I need to find some sources. What are they? So you describe them. You have your guiding questions on section E. Guiding questions, you have define, describe, and compare the two topics according to the theories. What does John Dewey says about this? What does Vygotsky say about this? So you describe them, and then see their practical application for you as a teacher. What is the practical application for behaviorism? What is the practical application for constructivism? What is the implication on teaching and learning? Number 4, which of these theories is more relevant to the Vanuatu context? This is your classroom practice. Which of the two do you use more often, and why are you using it? Explain. If behaviorism is not relevant, how can we adapt it to suit the Vanuatu context? So don't think of Vanuatu as the country outside, it's your practice inside the classroom. Go. Okay, after all sources play you, suppose you start using all reading where you miss giving plan they come, samla lista complain lemia, you have use all resource play you yeah now. You quote them, but you make sure so you use them APA referencing style. It means say name blo ota, ia, first name blehem, sorry, family name blehem, ota, quote play you, suppose me less than 50 words, you put them bracket lehem. Suppose where you paraphrase them, you make them sure say you put them intended. You intend them. And those words, you must make sure say lo one page, lo one book, or article you use them, you take note from by you put them lo reference list play you. Are we good? So you should have at least 2 4 sources, please support them. Essay play you. Pahemi maskat introduction, you got all body conclusion, and we take up about 2,000 words. Reference, not included inside the 2,000 words here. Your font type should be Times New Romance, font size, title, 16, all 16, all heading, hemi 14, after all subheading, only 12, and the rest of the content should be 12. Okay, are we good?
Well,
Everyone, layout play you, layout flow work play you should cut one title page, name play you, IT number play you must upload title page play you, cover page, sorry. And then you have a content page. After you make an introduction, the definition, background theories, whatever, and then you have the body, and then you got conclusion, you got reference page. Your marking criteria. Once you start following with me, you should look at page 4. Marking criteria for you is stuff inside. We are including it. Lo item you want to make exactly now you supposed to make it. And the total row mark is out of 40 and the percentage is out of 40. Are we good? Any questions? Any question, comment?
Madam, Mimi got one question.
Yes.
Okay, come down low layout, yeah. For the title and the heading and the subheading.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, for the title, yeah. There got 3 different titles, yeah, like the by title hem one, I like at one heading by again, I like at one subheading by again. Like, but you started giving me one example. Just give me one example.
Okay, a title page is usually the cover page. Are we talking to Cleason?
Yes.
Okay, Cleason, a title page is a cover page. For example, EDPS 112, Education Psychology, Task 1. Underneath you have Clisson Surai. And then you have your IT number, that's all.
Okay, that's the title.
That's the title page or the cover page.
Okay.
And then you tell over, also say you start work close. Post with me, Holland by me printing by yourself now. So next page for me, by me one in.
Heading, content.
Content page. Content page. Heading here now. Heading for content page now by me font size 14 ya.
Okay.
Okay,
And then
page, cover page by lista lo size 16. Okay. After Naya, you make a content page. So title play you know me heading here.
Okay. Title blow to wala major topic whereby you choose you write them lo essay ya.
No, this is just a content page. Plotalem use page 1, M1M, page 2, 1M is talem, page 3, page 4, and so on.
Okay.
Are we good?
Yes.
And then now you make all page 3. Your page 3, Pahemi got heading now. Title for you, Pahemi, comparative essay. After you write them, constructivism versus whatever, or you choose them. Constructivism versus socio-constructivism, or something like that.
Okay.
And then you have your every heading below you, Yana, you Mr. Talent CME size 14, and you can either bold them. By asterisk, by Mr. Font size 12.
Okay.
So after introduction, you finish, and then you give him all brief. You follow him, you follow all question, no more. If you follow the question, you should be okay. Okay, me describe meanings, me explain small meanings, what else do I need to do? Who is this Terry? What is this Terry saying? Okay, introduction itan. Naya, me leko 2-3 paragraph, me kolo body. Okay, body 1 below me, me talk about 1M. Implication to classroom. What is the good thing about constructivism? What is the good thing about Gestalt psychology? Okay, these are examples. Then you give him all example for you come to classroom practice for you. And then the next paragraph before your conclusion by Mr. Talaman something. Okay, behaviorism I mean really applicable to context of Vanuatu. Okay, but this is how we can make it applicable. Misabe yusum classical conditioning, lo teaching on second language. Or lo help more student only special need or something else. Don't use my example because I will know that you're using my example.
Yes, yes, like
I know you guys are thinking.
Yes.
And then after you give him all example, you finish, you know, forget them, use them all resources here. Who now? Hey, Mr. Talent thinking, so you give me example, please, but somebody else need to support the idea. And that is where your referencing comes in. That is when you start quoting other people, support them thinking blue, but keep them short and sweet. You know, you some thinking blow narflaman, expect them become overrulum thinking blue. Then after you make him finish, leave a paragraph. Now your conclusion. Even though da says this and this says this, this is how I find it. But bear in mind, this is a formal writing. Personal pronoun, for example, I and you and we think do not appear in them. As much as possible, avoid using personal pronouns.
Okay.
Okay, it's like you're in the middle. You are writing, but you're neutral. But you're comparing without actually bringing yourself into it, even though we are reading your voice. After you finish, read through. Grammatical error, because there's certain percentage to language as well. Okay? Now we are clear?
Yes, thank you very much.
After your conclusion, then the next page, before Mr. Finish, small booklet, the last one should be your reference list. And this is where you put your list. Please go to Google and you look in example below how na limigem reference list below APA referencing style. So last page pre-name should be referencing. So your essay would have about, Krem, are you still around? You should have about 5 to 6 or 7 pages at the most.
Okay.
and check your word count. Are we good?
Yes.
All the other ones are benefiting from Clison's question? You put one
Okay.
thumbs up no more, so and say yes. You start learning one something out of
Yes, sir.
question plan.
Okay, one more question.
Yes.
The one with using 2 or 3 sources for each topic. Like if Mimi choose some teaching and learning process with behavioral views about like major topic 4 and major topic 2. I have to have 3 sources for major topic 2 after another 3 sources for major topic 4, or so on. I'm like, if at least I must cut 2 or 3 slow to readings, yeah.
Yes, it's exactly what you're saying. 2 or 3 plus 1 major topic, 2 or 3 plus another major topic. So at the end, you should have at least 6 or 7, probably more, low reference list for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any more question?
Mrs. Morris, me want one explanation more on referencing style 6th edition.
Referencing style 6th edition.
6th edition, yes.
Okay. Referencing style in 6th edition, it's like I am saying, we have the author. For example, if you are Carlo Tolson, so you have just published a book last year, right? So I am referencing your work. What am I going to write?
By me write them Carlo Dolce.
My name.
No.
With them last year.
I am going to write, okay, me pinking one example. After me put on full stop lo example plo me, na ya pa me starten blo quote now, as supported by Tolson in bracket 2020. And then me put on quotation mark finish. After me tell him all tok blo, me type him in all tok blo Tolson. Finish me close him quote mark. After me write him page number. Where in his article did I get what page in his article or book did I get the quote from? Or for most, after 2020, you put comma, after you put P, small p, you put page number, yeah. But for most encourage, you put lo quote in bracket page number. One in page now, you've been taken blank. If I am quoting from page 10, pa mi put lo en quote. Now clear?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Aslet, you okay? Any more question? Estreta?
Yes.
Okay, well, one more last one, sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Back to the layout of the essay, content page, introduction, where you have definition, there is background, historical information, outline, titles and subtitles. And then the one on the bottom, like I asked at the first place, yeah.
Are you talking from section E?
Section E. Guiding questions. You mean the guiding questions?
Or layout?
Layout, yeah, H, letter H, layout of the essay, content.
Yes, that is the format of your little booklet. Or some you talent so you printing, by me look also one name. From you places send them soft copy. That's the layout on page on section H. You plan to worry too much, Len. Get your work done. Is it okay now?
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
straight.
Okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, by me stop. I'm going to leave you and you take a break before the 111 people come in. You're right?
Okay.
Thank you
very
so much for your
much.
participation. I hope to see you in the forum or email or send me a text. Otherwise, have a good weekend and good Friday afternoon.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Same to you. Same to you.
Have restoran yung nasabi na mag-MC.
Itulah makohet kontakan lah ya pai mas lagi tingting yang pai no big tomat no mulai mas.
Well, teachers, anytime you stop around, stick by me try and find a market up low. I think EDPS, sorry Thomas Lola. Francophone, Monsieur Bruno n'est pas toujours là avec nous. Il est absent aujourd'hui, je ne sais pas pourquoi, mais vous avez tous les moyens pour l'envoyer un message si vous avez des questions ou quoi que ce soit. You may wait now, you have me 10 block EDPS 111 from 1 to 2. So in a long time, for the lecturer, I mean, Mr. Kailin Tarosa, what Mrs. Kailin Tarosa, what Monsieur Augustin Nassé. Okay, francophone, je stop around. Monsieur Augustin Nassé sera là avec nous, donc tu auras la chance de poser les questions que vous voulez poser. Okay, please, me. About all devices. Just last week, also my Bible message, you will like message jam, I mean 80 laptops. And laptop, we try my request to choose the fastest one with the money where you cut. And we got one i5 laptop, super fast. Not only the last one, I mean i7. You stop, I mean i7 and around 200,000. So what I think 60, 70 something. We managed to computer work one i5 machine. An i5 machine now we install them with the full license flow Windows 10. With them Windows 10 and the latest version of Windows. And Microsoft, we start using what Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, input path. Means we will install them and latest one will be 2019 version. So by you clad to mass, you are very serious. I mean everyone, I mean the latest one will start with what is start limited and provide them come to you. But the one new laptop, sorry to mass another one where you know got chance. They help me no survey, maybe we got time next year, maybe survey. Manage flow submitting the submitting application. Suppose you manage flow yeah. But now after me caram on my file, me fill me top up low 17 gig for TG cell and 15 gig for Vodafone. So by me came to you zoom as far as time we me over. Then by you now we just refill, you just top up. And everything me ship you, but me shipping start for next week. And me just once me carry on PC, me by you look, Mr. Talem, say we must go back through. See activation it through, only activate them, Windows, Microsoft. Only install them every basics, because we know that we reinstall back again. Okay, we ask them to or program them, we must install them back again. So the program when we add them in and antivirus, we install them antivirus and smart dark, the latest one, 2021 version, and then you plug them in one of your class drive, but hand you automatically scan without asking you permission. So you can put from pull up man or just permanently plug in connect them anyway. Flash drive, hard drive, any removable disk here, they only just open them without scanning before open. So I put from all the designers, especially from all portable storage. After we put them to all browser, we like come around talk about Brave, install Brave and Firefox, Google Chrome, all the rest. Every browser where you start using Firefox, you install them everyone. We install them to printer, and printer we install them, we make sure say we test them. Say, and we print well, color or not color, you scan them, look from you scan them, you have a signer, you send them, scan them, you go to PDF, or scan them, install a Word, Excel, and you copy, you make a photocopy. If you want to copy 1, 2, 3, start playing, you tell them number. More you have a copy to a color or green, black and white. So we make everything here. Now I think we flat them around 41. 39 but we make them all alone for weekend. I mean no one is a task. You must start about the Yugola. Watch with every workflow me. Even if everyone with them and 400 students, a million so double me or lecturer, they can send demand and me one no staff. So please patient within 2 weeks, but me completing full installation with them verify everything, then we start shipping. And we installing two laptops here, we installing some software. We suppose when you face some problem no Tana or South Tana or no banks, but you watch some computer play, we say we come through, we say lele ko kesa play, but me take up kesa play you, we go you do one and we make it. So you know you come, but me come in, but you accept them, but me come in here. Then you work local computer play without you buy the solution, and you pesa, you click or something wonder. So sometimes when you can't any thing where you have to explain them technical, but me come in with the professor Lomi, but me work. We say work with type or something you want them to basically you start the webless remote, at least you connect it. So everything I make them. And hopefully by after hand weekend next week, we start shipping. Me ask them admin, suppose we let them me come down with them. Listen, we have a one-day training to how to use it. You scan, how you copy, laptop to how to put one password, change some password. Yes, me ask them very no give me one cream like it. Suppose me no come down, but me start here, me help me out. It depends on the finance flow me allow, it depends on the post flow me. Suppose me have a little, me make them to around 1 more time. The amount of device. I mean, very important. Kami akan disimulkan bahwa itu device itu. How you top up, how you make a hotspot. Start this, you need to make one recap. Milo kalau pleasure, Milo sabe 88 francophone please. Only DPS on one, only come. From me to lo two mikat naramiti. We start lo 8. Anyone got any question? Go ahead. Any question for our devices, please?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
With the multisa we settle using the model or la computer or la laptop. Yeah. You mean say everyone is step inside there? Every name where he appear with the fly step inside there? Or no?
Madam, we like at 18 way only cut scholarship where you apply for scholarship law VNPF, you acceptable keta. Not everyone. You need around 132 on in-service diploma plus school of education. Around out of 132, 120, yes, less than 132. Only 80 have been approved by VNPF local scholarship. And look at the now, about here. And you know everyone, and yeah, you got the opportunity here. Mana bisa even not discouraged, maybe later on. Next day we shall apply.
Concern.
Go ahead.
You tell them say me flower he apply from scholarship of NPF. Only accept them after how about me flower some me no been accepted after all cost me by he also name by how no payment me me go about them payment on courses.
Monsieur, Asomita Lavinisia.
If you want them work inside the classroom, they're not at network, they're outside.
Okay, Monsieur, yes, Asomita Lavinisia. Lo site plo wanama all criteria plo be able plo makama karam scholarship. If you like at nothing to me start plo credential plo katablo wanama yes, so me like at nothing to do just me lo please na mo likim lo me 80.
No, Mr.
And now you will yes, suppose a device, any problem? Stop. Keep him over while waiting the yes, what the multiple devices is yes, true, but how one from anyone online course, yes. So I'm using one device. Connect or data and all these things. By sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Minimal say, suppose we multi-device you're right. Multi-device you're right. Say, suppose me play in a cut, but me play still finding one way below me play got access law or some law or me play online, huh?
Yes.
Pay me all court fees. I say, by who now you pay by me play on same by or how? Me start minimal devices. Yeah.
Okay.
That is suppose we. NPF in sponsor me fola alepa o me still minimal expenses o all cost fees ya.
It is by yes, suppose you really want them for what them by masna. You must fix him. And even though Catholic take scholarship ya, lo hand lo de pa hemi own money lo keta. From BNPF, scholarship to BNPF, me one scholarship from scholarship, so you pim school, everything. But what I'm BNPF, any of them say you lay by no ya. You current open school, no and they by you refund them back every money until zero. So I mean, no, really one scholarship, but it's a self pay from now, cut fully amounting. So and they by you pay back, you pay back everyone.
Sorry.
Yes, I'm an BNPF scholarship here. And yeah, only just lend them money no more. Yeah, every money will carry but they refund them everyone. Meaning, you pay back, you pay back and every money will carry.
Yes, there is a common understanding and I'll say, why you must pay back, pay me something suppose we me Mr. On no costs no me no make any payment, you come low you full but you've list of cost maybe no or by your
Yes. At the moment, I got one time, maybe week or next week, when you follow up, then come back and you will say, have you way no pen? But it's suspended. Suspend them activity plan, I mean, I'm take over until the must plan. From now, you may go on yet on what you will from you will start everything. The ones who admin, you may say, all kata wali no pem hemia ni wanda leave it just stop no plo action mana mo was permit dalam lo so tetap lu yo mi register na ya mi blay no patrulan ni che we pem no pem once we buy mi look we pem we no pem pem still for them course until now we think se pa me follow state say
question about My fellow Kifimia, Hemi one, we work together with MTVL, Motichisel from where Plotichisel, Rotale Salem, Plotichisel in work Plotivl in work with MTVL. So,
Mr. Carlo, sorry, by Hemi hardly by the final Hemia. Even in Okatnamo, Vanuatu, Vanuatu, but just come one. My file with them two SIM card here, but you may never find them. But Okatoli, I'll provide your ISP for the phone material or your business. So, if you want them blow one single Katanum. So that's why we must finance you start where you need one of now connection and good, then we provide them you one of suppose you for the phone put low reception, for the phone put low place where you stop, so we provide them for the phone. Mana you will work plug in start last money is come finance to about 180 years. So now I'm service my 5 minutes. We stop. So sorry to mas by no service, you know, say change and syndrome. Phone and putumlo TV by no service. Only one SIM and any locked SIM. You know, start putum nara network SIM equal to nara SIM.
Yes.
Well, go to Sundays.
Okay. Thank you, Thomas. I used the story and I am give him time lo Mr. Paul Takaro, Mr. The one look at the representative lo EDPS 111. Okay, Mr. Paul, it is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, we come late a little bit. Mr. Wadam, some students will prepare Mogada from field visit next week. However, you got a few days. We want them emphasize them. One, Hemi, all weekly forum. All weekly forum when we realize this send them again. Our first week, you got the participation. Hemi, you're right. After the second week, you come here, participation, Hemi, no. Kutumas. Plan the you will no make him, you got one, Hemi, send them question again. Hemi ask him, say, suppose we, we will no access him, you will
Poltakaro.
You will not tell him name, me harem you will. Suppose we will no access him, you will him. By you will no make him. Now, point behind long reading here. Hemi no lo you may work towards a qualification no more. Lo hemi help you and let them you lo career you. Lo you how you shall deal with them on beginning. Now lo you may where you must teach inside lo primary education. You got all reading where you may put mikame plante hemi lo to do with them mogada lo early childhood lo primary education lo age 5 you go kasem 12 where you start with them. And suppose when you focus no more on weekly reflections, and you know make them all discussions inside the forum, excuse me, then sometimes by you miss out some very important readings way, or is help you improve teaching and learning to you inside the classroom, or at the same time how you should understand them, or beginning we will start under care you. Hemi one, number two, hemi all assessments. So far, lo EDBS 111, we will receive about 9 assessments, no more ligam. Now, plan the lo send them in all assessments so ligamet. Suppose where you got any questions about any all reflection, you ask them question lo time or you send them one email, module or messenger igam. Or suppose where you know that. Then he could understand them schedule me with them more students. You may need you may get sub two from you may get one time limit, you may make a program, you may finish him, you may graduate with them one qualification way. Start calendar blame. By next week, we will upload them assessment 2. next week, we will upload them assessment two. Assessment two, me quite heavy, and me long need him plan the time to you make some observation inside lo classroom, lo you fulfill him requirement, lo assessment two year. However, more detailed lo assessment by me will like to do lo module lo next week. Suppose where you got any issues regarding that assessment when you time you look him next week, you either call them or mobile phone or send them a message or email address or module way or platform them or start finish you me everyone you sabi. Lo last week too, lo you me anglophone, lo side lo EDBS 111, registration start with them mogada lo EDBS 112, say student enrollment hem is lo 70. However, participation we hem come hem less than number we hem start. Lo you me lo anglophone. So semester have go pick one finish. We will have been no time only only go local administration and by only look low contact them students where all name local staff only no participate no more. Look current feedback local say also name but Lomio sem one teacher I have me very difficult lo one it's me lo metal lo semester naya. Lo try and find a way to have me go as a beginning of semester. So, but very challenging. Whether miss you blow TSC, blow license me, with the minimum requirement, blow qualification, only need him, blow you miss a performance at one classroom. You wonder me everyone, me understand that programmer have me, blow you help me, and planted me where you miss us you got planted year yet before you me retire. With them roll out, for licensing, with them all new requirement with DCME one them, all programmer you may put them only help me now. So despite all challenges where you may start, maybe network, maybe workload, all lot challenges, me may start encouraging me everyone lo. You may find in time, how you may manage more work doing, lo you may participate lo module platform. By looking benefit plan. Naya Mr. Story, where then TSC have launched and two money severance pay. Where then new qualification by you current, but then you will grade by you current, by looking say by you retire, where then one more could benefit apart from not benefit whereby helping me to deliver inside the classroom. So me believe say you will understand me, you will like two eating thing, law or later yeah, law assisting me, blow you miss a pen. Concentration or focus lo thinking strong lo completing course premium way you can through lo half semester lo have finished now. I think Heman no more. Thank you too much. Suppose you will have any question lo any issues when me mess them you will ask them. And suppose Brother Plumi Bruno Mr. Marcel Plumi lo bisa ikat any narula something lo aden lo student lo lo francophone then bahaya misalnya kami lo tok tok. Thank you.
Continue.
Any question? Colleague, every something is clear? No got question?
Shall I repeat?
Yeah. You repeat them every instructions. Tok belum when dalam lebih ini nggak sana ya?
So second last information yan mo. Second last information please.
Okay, no, Mr. Tok sa lo ini no mo. Se registration hem start someday lo 70. Lo reality we hem start. You got plante. Almost participate. Some will participate in forum discussions and plan the two almost eliminate assessment, especially Imilo English, EDBS 111. So Imilo finish assessment 1 net, imisendemikan, By next week, we will upload them assessment too. And by me store and more or module discussion, or suppose no got you call me or the next for some session by me after next week. And also me talent too, blow help me say blow encourage me, blow me participate. Information in the garden, hemi sabe help me blow improve on classroom teaching and learning blow me deliverance for beginning. After what the more policies for employee me teaching service commission. And me stop encouraging everyone blow me participate from Naya or Likato requirements or staff blow or minimum qualifications when is available classroom. More at the same time too will benefit them when I all increase in severance pro you may all teach at go on top 2 months. So it's beneficial in all ways. Lo you personally building up capacity blow you financially you looking hard work blow you paid off much better than one end way Mr. Naya. More two blow help them more beginning way or the stuff under look here. Otherwise, now me repeating back again. Forum discussion, turn out, hemi very poor. Week 1, hemi right. Now, hemi go participate. So, me encourage everyone, or forum discussion, please participate. From hemi now, hemi so me will say, you will start making more reading, we will start sending them. After 2 assessment, all start coming late, you will run submitting online, you miss a meeting deadline, you may finish. Time we only put to start local calendar me say by me finish plan. Program me 2 years no more, and suppose we continue good plan. Hopefully next year, you may now you may start online all best graduate low best so. I mean one something where school do is start look forward witnessing achievement with the Mivala. Most especially assessment and forum discussions, yes, can participation for everyone. Thank you.
One question. Hello.
Yes.
Mikang baglo whole evaluation blo LL1 ya. 111 ya. Lol deadline we play put me start the 20 lo April with the May he come down. All evaluation ya. But if still accept them, so me fly make him late come.
Thank you very much for the question. Calendar blue me have been shift forward or working me been making last year finish the beginning of the year. So all deadline you like forget them. By me for like look no readjust them all deadline most endemic. But suppose no got you mean communicate through email, telephone, but then some discussion to you may agree. And this afternoon, me talent level say me will still wait low all first assessment level. So forget them deadline we start. You still service and me come me will naya start. So next week, but me will put out assessment too.
Kami channel lo talam se madam suppose all pin stick lo la timingnya. I think by the fellow full up lo yun. So you look only holam tight stop person naya so. You na submit yet. You late little bit, please.
Still got time to submit.
Still got time. Time limit. So, nakam from me got lo handle, Mr. Takoro just tell him sepay. Now you make out your teachers, you make out you may only term two severance, 2 yes.
2 months severance.
So good for the benefit, lo handle.
So it means by me se magtulo 112 with them all.
Yes, 1122 is a month. Calendar blue me everyone only been little bit mixed or only been little bit delay. So you may accept them every something. One law something where you may want them me by eco maybe semester 2. Lo next cosplay me by me looking supposed way. I think by you may start good low time, then you may have a respect them more time or the start. At the moment, all assessment there we only delay, you will still cut time, go send them income. After you will have a put to assessment too, you will have work plan. Remember, we need EDBS 301. Senaya, mecha topic 1, you write them assessment plan finish, reflection plan finish. Mecha topic 2, Naya, you start look through them. So reflection plan 2 by me will ask them to do soon. So you could do you finishing mecha topic 1. Sometimes it's a topic to come up with assessment to Mr. Polemigan. But to answer one question to you, Madam, we will still accept them assessment 1 and 2 or to get a course. DBS 1 or the DBS 112.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Mr. Paul, me want them making one comment no more, please, about all readings. Some people where I cite in a good little bit, some readings have no clear to mass. Suppose you will have make more readings so clear little bit. Lo me will have read. So far, thank you too much. All readings, all directions where you will stop helping me with them. Nara something to say, suppose me will some falalo me will only been send them assignment ni camp me will no sure say you will receive him or no cat, but suppose say you will have respond the camp lo talem say you will receive him all assignment lo me will finish by me will have say you will receive him finish. Thank you too much.
Thank you too much. Very good comments, Madam. By some law reading, yes, we agree with them. You all know clear. You make up one book no more where you may start following in DBS 111, and you may give him your secretary, he start photocopy. After me, you will start scan him, send them become real. And sometimes time only photocopy is not clear. Have no problem with me. By me informing more people responsible. Lo only scan and put, make them say clear. After only photocopy or something straight, lo only sabe upload them lo module lo imi sabe access them. Me first comment, thank you too much. Number 2, me ask the money. Sorry, one another question to you.
About all assessment when we will send them come.
Okay, thank you. By me talk with them to narrow colleague way to let's download them all assessment then. Lo make sure say only respond lo you like.
Thank you.
Thank you. So far lo folder way only putung lo desk me count them lo weekend have me octan 9 no more. Me lo anglophone 9 no more. So by me go back, me talk with them to class, was to no respond by me respond lo you like. Either this afternoon or during the weekend, Alam say me will receive him or no cut. And then you know looking, you recent back end, but me advise say, suppose we know somewhere I think Monsieur Galsin him me talk how to upload and module. Suppose we no cut or email address with them all the stuff, you send them low email no mobile. Me will still have access. By the time you familiarize with them all too, and you sabe, you make them by you mean no strict to much, send them no module. You send them one mode where him more friendlier with them, whether lo module or lo email is straight no. But by me will I respond. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Because time's up. 2 o'clock. We will start for a long time. We will meet too. We know even start for 11 kasi na we know lunch yet. So please, suppose we have question.
Okay, ilu gosan ino magat any question? All colleagues, thank you so much. Lo you guys have. Chane mi fala lo this afternoon lo imi sabe look imi talem halo lo imi sorry mi no talem halo I think lo best place way. Karsi mi talem halo ya lo tin lo dese. You will stop or telephone numbers or stop or email or stop. You will always communicate with them. You will any medium way. You cast them. You may already tell you work so we can suppose way. You want to make them some work. You got all time to all start modulia with time now. You contact them. You save contact them. Otherwise, on behalf of team of the you come to you. Nice for weekend. You will take care and all the best for all work baby. Thank you so much.
We really want to take one to flow everyone. Suppose we will have honest and honest.
Or if you want to
Not mic, but video. And
video.
we can just
You can ask full photo.
Mi video yun, eh?
Nice. Keep on. Turn on every video. Okay, you want one thumbs up, please. Everyone.
Thank you.
Thumbs up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone, please take a break.
Thank you. Bon weekend.
Hope to see you
Thank you,
again.
Mas. Thank you, Mas. Hello, Tata. Nice weekend.
Nice weekend. Thank you.
Nice weekend. Very good.
Oh, wait. Oh, please.
Yes, no, I'm not. Saya ko na sa Malita. You may still stop. Hang on, you may francophone especially. Suppose you really want them all friends today only. You want them really nakawan sung what them friends today. You tell them no more. Request them. Kami sa contact them to wala. Let me make them anytime. At the end of next Friday, kami ko Tomas. So please. Suppose you really cut me to you want them look to wala, come we still face to face or something. Kami sa makam. At least pos you know sabi lo anytime every 2 weeks. Okay. Also you kalam pa we cut some soon.
Straight yan. Monsieur, straight yan na. We really need them.
Okay.
Monsieur, let's actually them lo. Si sepan lay listen walo tulad ito ya beno ato mo ha.
Next time. Monsieur nasi kat class, Monsieur Bruno just kami niya, ilan yung staff niya, pero ino katman ni walang ilman ni Christine no.
Next time you must talk to Lodula.
Okay, sorry Tomas, we must close the meeting now.
Straight, Monsieur.
Thank you. Bye.
Bon weekend. Bon weekend, monsieur.
Bon weekend.
Thank you. Person.